Ever wish you had like a cheat code for communication? You know, especially for those close relationships that really matter.
Oh, tell me about it.
Well, today we're on the case, right? We're diving deep into Comunicación Efectiva by Sergio Montoya Chica.
Oh, interesting.
And trust me, this isn't some dusty old communication textbook. This is more like, you know, a how-to manual for becoming like a master communicator.
Okay, I like it. So what's the angle here? What makes this Montoya Chica guy so special?
Right. So what's fascinating here is Montoya Chica goes beyond just getting your point across.
Which is important.
Oh, absolutely. He calls that being effective, which is, you know, important. But he argues that truly masterful communication also considers, like, the emotional impact on the other person.
Oh, I see. So it's not just what you say, but how you say it.
Exactly.
Hello.
How it makes the other person feel.
That makes sense.
He calls this powerful combo CEA, Comunicación Efectiva y Afectiva.
Catchy. I like it. So how does he bring this CEA to life?
Well, the book actually dives into this with a surprising amount of humor, which I loved.
Humor. Okay, now you've got my attention.
Right. Remember that story about Kung Chang and the phone call?
Oh, Kung Chang. That one had me laughing out loud.
Right. Poor Kung Chang. He tries to use like all his usual charm on a phone call, but with his boss.
Oh no, not the boss. It's like he missed the memo on context.
Exactly. Right? It's a hilarious reminder that clear communication, it isn't one size fits all.
Not at all. You can't talk to your boss the same way you talk to, say, your partner or your best friend. Those need totally different approaches.
100%. Like how we talk to our boss, our partner, our best friend.
Yeah.
Those all need different approaches. It's like this chameleon thing, right?
Precisely. Montoya Chica calls communication contextual, like a chameleon changing colors to match its surroundings. It's about adapting our style based on who we're talking to and what's going on around us.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? Become communication chameleons.
Well, first, Montoya Chica wants us to take a long, hard look in the mirror.
Ooh, introspection time.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah. He asks us to get real about our communication struggles. Like, who do you struggle to communicate with most? And I'm not talking about vague generalities here. I'm talking specific people. Those relationships where you feel like you're speaking different languages.
Don't hold back.
Exactly. We all have those relationships that push our buttons, right?
Now, put on your detective hat for a second.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Montoya Chica wants us to dig deeper. We have to figure out why these communication breakdowns happen. So what are like the top 3 reasons for your communication struggles with that person?
Is it constant bickering, that feeling like you're walking on eggshells?
Or maybe it's the frustration of feeling constantly misunderstood.
Yes, all good ones. And this is where things get really interesting because it's so tempting to point the finger at the other person, right?
Oh, 100%.
It's human nature. But Montoya Chica reminds us that blame, it's a communication dead end. It's like trying to solve a crime by only interviewing one suspect.
So instead of playing the blame game, he wants us to focus on what we can control ourselves.
Because at the end of the day, that's the only person's communication style you can actually change, right?
Yeah, exactly. And once you understand your own communication habits, the good, the bad, and the awkward, you'll be amazed at how much smoother your conversations become.
Okay, so we're on this mission to crack the code of better communication.
We are.
And like any good detective, we've got to analyze all the evidence, right?
Right.
Montoya Chica, he points us to like a gold mine of clues, stuff we often miss.
What's that?
Our nonverbal communication.
Oh, interesting. You know, it's like our bodies are speaking even when our mouths are closed.
Yes.
Sometimes those nonverbal cues, they're shouting louder than words.
It's true. Have you ever gotten that feeling where, like, someone's annoyed with you?
Oh, yeah.
Even if they're saying, like, no, it's fine, I'm fine.
Right.
It's like, okay, but your face is saying otherwise.
Yes.
Montoya Chica, he calls this body language leakage.
Okay.
It's like our true feelings are like springing a leak no matter how much we try to cover them up.
Wow, I like that. Body language leakage.
Right.
And sometimes, you know, we're the ones with those leaks and we don't even realize it.
100%. We can be totally oblivious.
Right.
But luckily, Montoya Chica gives us this whole checklist of these nonverbal cues to kind of, you know, be mindful of. Like our gestures, posture, even our eye contact can kind of, you know, speak volumes.
Totally.
He says to think of them as clues to help us understand what's really being said,
Ooh.
both by ourselves and the person we're talking to.
Oh, that's good.
And this isn't about like, you know, becoming some kind of like body language expert,
Right.
like analyzing every little twitch and blink. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's not that deep.
Right.
It's about developing self-awareness.
Self-awareness, I like it.
Yeah.
Like, are you unknowingly sabotaging your message with, like, a grumpy tone or
Yeah.
just, like, closed-off body language?
All the time.
Right.
I know I'm guilty of that.
Me too. And, you know, a little introspection can go a long way.
100%. 100%.
For sure. And speaking of things that can sabotage our communication, let's move on to Exhibit B,
Okay, let's do it.
the communication crimes.
Oh.
Montoya Chica says we're all guilty of sometimes.
Oh, I'm sure we are. We are all capable of this. These
Yeah.
are the real villains of healthy communication.
Okay.
Distortion, generalizations, and assumptions.
Mhm.
They're like those sneaky criminals, you know, who can just slip in, wreak havoc,
Right.
and nobody notices until it's too late.
Wow. The damage is done.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about these communication crimes. Like, what do they look like in action?
So, distortion? Okay, this is a good one. Montoya Chica, he calls it like the telephone game effect.
Okay.
It's that thing where a message gets twisted, you know, as it's passed along. And suddenly, nobody's quite sure what the original point even was.
Right.
He gives this example, like, let's say you have a gossipy friend,
Okay.
and, you know, they take, like, a very simple comment that you make, and,
Okay.
you know, suddenly it's this whole drama.
Oh my God, the drama.
Right, or the boss who makes sweeping generalizations, you know.
Right.
Assuming, like, the entire team is slacking off based on just, like, one person's mistake.
Oh my gosh, those always and never statements.
Ah, yes.
Like, I feel like I hear those all the time and they drive me crazy. The worst.
Like, you always forget to empty the dishwasher.
Oh, come on.
Wait, do I do that?
Right. It's like, is that even true?
Right.
Well, first of all, probably not always, but
No.
it's so easy to kind of like fall into those traps.
It is.
Right. But Montoya Chica, he gives us some like really great strategies to kind of avoid these communication potholes, you know, these pitfalls.
Okay, good.
He says one of the simplest ways to kind of, you know, catch yourself before you make a generalization
Okay.
is to be mindful of using those words. Always and never.
Okay.
If you can, just like delete those from your vocabulary.
Okay, that's actually brilliant. I'm going to start, like, listening for those words.
Yes.
Both in my own conversations and, you know, what other people are saying to me.
Yes.
Like a little red flag. To, like, signal when things might be getting off track.
Exactly. You're like spotting the trap before you fall into it.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Okay.
Right.
So we've got distortion.
Yes.
We've got generalization.
Okay.
What's next?
Assumptions.
Assumptions.
Oh.
Those are tricky.
Yeah, they're sneaky.
Because sometimes I feel like they're harmless, but other times they can, like, really blow things up.
100%.
Right.
Because it's like we're creating this story
Yes.
in our heads about why somebody's doing something or what they mean without actually checking in with them.
Right. And we all do it.
We do.
Okay, so we've uncovered some major communication crimes with these assumptions.
Oh, yeah. Assumptions are big.
But Montoya Chica, he doesn't stop there.
He doesn't.
No.
Yeah.
He takes us even deeper into what he calls attitudinal vices.
Attitudinal vices.
Yeah. Basically, like those sneaky little negative attitudes
Yeah.
we bring to conversations, often without even realizing it.
Oh, yeah. Those little, like,
Right.
invisible, you know, gremlins in the works.
Exactly.
They're messing things up, and you
Yeah.
have no idea.
It's like we're carrying around these, like, invisible weapons, right?
Yes.
They could just, like, poison even the best intentions.
Totally.
And the worst part is we're often completely unaware we're even, like, holding a weapon.
Right. Totally oblivious.
Okay, that's a scary thought.
Okay.
So who are these attitudinal villains Montoya Chica wants us to watch out for?
Yeah, so he puts a few, like, key suspects on the lineup for us, okay?
Okay.
Blaming, manipulating, and intimidating. These are like the ringleaders of communication breakdowns.
Right.
They can single-handedly sabotage our best efforts to connect with other people.
Ooh, I can see how those would cause some trouble. Give me an example. Like, what does blaming look like in action?
Okay, let's say you and your partner are having a disagreement about something.
Okay.
Instead of, like, you know, taking responsibility for your part in it,
Right.
you start pointing fingers.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, well, if you hadn't, or this is all your fault because
Right.
Montoya Chica says blaming, it's like throwing gasoline on a fire.
It is.
It just makes everything so much worse.
Oh, I've been guilty of that myself.
Yeah.
It's so easy to, like, fall into that trap when you're feeling defensive or hurt.
100%. 100%.
But you're right, it never actually solves anything.
That just makes things worse, yeah.
Right.
And then there's manipulation.
Ugh.
Oh, that's a communication killer if I've ever seen one.
Oh, it's the worst.
Because it's all about trying to, like, control the other person or the situation
Right.
to just get what you want,
Right.
often at the expense of, like, genuine connection.
Right. It's like that friend who always plays the victim to, like, get sympathy. Or the coworker who tries to, like, guilt trip you into taking on their workload.
Oh my gosh, yes, all the time.
Right.
Classic manipulation tactic.
So manipulative.
The worst.
Right.
And here's the thing about these, like, attitudinal vices.
Okay.
They often stem from our own, like, insecurities and, like, unresolved issues.
Ooh.
So Montoya Chica reminds us that becoming aware of these tendencies is a huge step towards kind of like breaking free from them.
Right.
It's like turning on a light in a dark room.
Right.
Suddenly you can see the obstacles.
Yes.
And you can navigate around them.
That's such a powerful image. So it's not just about, like, changing our words or body language. It's about, like, going deeper and understanding those, like, underlying attitudes.
Yes. The root of the problem.
Right.
They're actually, like, driving these communication patterns.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive. I feel like I have a whole new toolkit for, like, building stronger, healthier relationships.
Me too. And remember, even small changes can make a big difference over time.
Right.
Montoya Chica, he encourages us to kind of, like, choose just one area that we want to focus on improving. Maybe it's becoming more mindful of our tone of voice, or, catching ourselves before we make a generalization, or, just taking a breath
Yes.
before responding in the heat of an argument.
Yes. Such great advice. So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's something I want you to think about. Montoya Chica reminds us that communication is a two-way street.
It is.
How can understanding your own communication style,
Yes?
those strengths, weaknesses, and even those sneaky attitudinal vices, right?
Yeah.
How can that help you better understand the people that you're communicating with?
That's the question right there.
Right. It's something to ponder, my friend. We'll catch you on our next deep dive.